I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the strategy room. Ongoing chaos in the House over who the GOP should pick as their candidate for Speaker has those Republicans running for president worried. The public division within the party between moderates and conservatives could impact the image the GOP has among voters and hurt their chances for taking back the White House. Here with reaction are political strategists Basil Smikle Jr. and TJ McCormack. Welcome. Basil, let me start with you because obviously the GOP has a lot of need to clean their house or get their house in order, literally and figuratively. But could this the conflict on Capitol Hill really spill over into the 2016 election?
Sure it can, because what the Republican candidates are going to want is an anchor in Congress. They want someone who is going to be able to move legislation, to talk about the issues, to help solidify the platform and make sure that the members across the country are on board with all of that, can't have these defections on policy issues or on the politics. And as long as that is not the case, you will have the Republican front runner or runners having to answer for that, and it takes them off message, so you don't want that.
So TJ, does the average voter, though, get that? I mean, or do they understand all the turmoil that's in the GOP now, or are they just looking for a candidate?
I think the average Republican understands it, isn't intimately concerned about it, but they understand it. And I think that this is something that a lot of street-level Republicans are grateful to see because they know it's going to get resolved soon enough. But this shows the intellectual honesty of the right. This shows the fact that the Republicans are not just a bunch of lemmings who are just going to show up and be told what is best for them. That's why you have these factions. And yes, it causes some discord, some disharmony, and that's fine. You know, every once in a while, as I said in The Godfather, this has to happen. We have to go to the mattresses, and everybody will come together. All the five families will come together. But it's
I never really quite understand.
It's a necessary bloodletting that has to happen. But no, it's not going to impact good, well-informed Republicans keeping an eye on it. But it's not. Nobody's losing any sleep.
But Basil, does this show sort of a wider division within the GOP, or is that just Democrats wishful thinking? No,
it actually does show a division, especially when McCarthy, who was there, said right at the sort of precipice of this vote and then pulled back and says, I'm not going to do it. And then there's a scramble to see who's going to replace him. So I do think there's a serious division. Where I differ from TJ is this. I do think that the average voter, Democrats and Republicans, do see this, because what it does is it takes away from the ability of the presidential candidates, to really talk about what they want to talk about without having to look behind them and say, what's going on in my backyard here? Because if there's some turmoil there, I can't move forward. And I think that nuance is somewhat perceptible to the voter.
But is there someone they can get behind right now that really can be a unifying force within the GOP?
I think Paul Ryan is sort of a consistent guy who gets a lot of respect from both sides. He has his very conservative side, fiscally especially. He's young. He brings a certain amount of gravitas to it, having been a really solid vice presidential candidate. But again, there's a lot of time between now and then. It'll get settled soon enough, and then we'll be picking the nominee down the road. And by the way, too, I think, again, in terms of this intellectual honesty, the reason McCarthy is out is because he put his foot in his mouth, and the Republicans said, you know what? That's a rookie thing. We don't have confidence in you. You out. And again, not a bunch of lemmings who are saying, well, we're being told to vote McCarthy, so we're going. No, they said, hey, you know what? Obviously, you showed you don't have the goods, so you're gone.
But Basil, how do the White House hopefuls then handle sort of this political fight within the party?
Well, to me, the front runners on the Republican side, for example, Trump and Carson, are not institutional players, which is why they're doing so well. So they have no ability to really organize the Republican base, particularly the Republican House base.
Do they do better by talking about the political fighting?
I think they do among independents, but not Republican conservatives, certainly not institutional players. I think that they would lose that community. But then it's a tricky road that they're going to have to walk. We'll see.
Plenty of time. We'll figure it out.
Plenty of time. We'll figure it out.
Meanwhile, the country has no legislation.
I'll make a phone call. All
right. Thanks so much, Basil and TJ. And you want to check out FoxNews.com for more on the 2016 presidential race. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.